Hello, once again, this is Brother Teacher with another one of my what I call or term karate from my desk episodes, if you will. Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who are in the martial arts or who are seeking out martial arts instruction, this is a very, very important video. I don't plan on being here long, but I just want to cut to the chase on something that everyone that starts out on the journey of martial arts should know, should understand. Uh, and it's about the separation of what's real and what's not real as it relates to fighting. I hate using that term fighting. We'd like to try to stray away from the term fighting because people misconstrue that term and associate it with something that is for entertainment, like watching the UFC and Pride fights and things of this sort on television and on YouTube and so forth. When we're talking about fighting, we're talking about one's ability, in this sense anyway, to protect themselves. And if you're studying martial arts and you're seeking out an instructor in the martial arts, depending on what the system is, of course, or style, you're going shopping for something specific. Be advised, first of all, when you're shopping for a school, a teacher, what do you want? What are you actually looking for in a school, in a martial art system or style? Are you looking to learn martial arts in its entirety, if you will? The history, the traditions, the customs, and achieving belt rank and so forth, and advancing and to move on in that particular art. That's one thing. Or do you want some of that and participate in what we call tournaments or competitions? If it's, for example, jiu-jitsu or judo, you want to compete in judo and jiu-jitsu competitions, karate tournaments or open tournaments or traditional tournaments, if you will, and the like. Or are you looking for a school or an instructor where you just want to stay in shape, take care of your health, your general health, and maintain it for the rest of your life and learn self-defense? All of those are different. So, unfortunately, over the past several decades, I have observed that there are many instructors that have people come to their schools and they put everyone under the same umbrella of tradition, history, customs, belt ranking, competition, and so on and so forth. But they may not necessarily be giving the individual what the individual wants at heart. They are not actually vetting the person and finding out what the person really is looking for. A lot of people don't really ask the students, what are you really looking for? The prospective student oftentimes sees martial arts and that's it. And they sign up, they're thinking self-defense, but they're getting all of this other stuff, and they end up becoming discouraged sometimes along the way because that's really not what they want, competition, or they don't want to do any real rigorous training. So what are you saying, brother teacher? What I'm saying is this: a good instructor, a great instructor that's worth their weight in gold will interview a prospective student, sit down with them and ask them what they want and explain the differences. They would do that. understand and overstand what I'm saying to you. So now, when you join the school, tell tell your prospective student you're going to learn this and you're going to learn that. And when that student comes in, make sure that you understand their limitations. Health issues, pre-existing health issues, and or concerns. Are they smokers? If they're just looking for self-defense. Now, let me pump the brakes for a moment. If a person is looking for just self-defense, do you offer that or not, instructors? If they just want self-defense. If they just want self-defense and they don't want all of the above, you've got to back off of them a little bit and understand this. Everyone is in our society, all types of people, good, bad, and ugly. While you are vetting your students, you must know what type of person it is that you're dealing with and the pros and cons of that individual, as it were. So, if they only want self-defense, but you are a traditional, tried and true instructor only, that's not the person for you. No. Don't step over that line and say, well, I'm going to sign you up, and you take their money. You take their money, but you are a staunch traditionalist. Don't do that, because you're heading for a calamity. Don't do that. If you are a staunch traditionalist, leave it there. You must be prepared to do more than one thing if you're going to take on someone for the traditional side and who just wants self-defense. You must have something in place to teach a person or a group of people just self-defense aside from your traditional martial arts, the whole package, if you will, as well. You must be prepared to do that. And if you're not, then don't take it on, because you're going to have some problems down the road. Everyone doesn't want to learn how to break a board, and everyone doesn't want to compete in a martial arts tournament, and everyone doesn't want rank, and everyone doesn't want to buy a dogi, a gi uniform or dobog, and have rank at all. They just want to learn self-defense. So are you, the instructor, prepared to do that? If you're not, then that's not the type of student you need to be dealing with. But if you are the instructor that does it all, then understand that, what's required. So you have to take the student on based on their level of physicality, if you will, or ability, and not expect them to be on a certain level. They can't be on your level or your student's level physically and so forth. Age should not be a criteria, and you should say, what are your pre-existing conditions? You need to be kind. You need to be willing to work with them based on their shortcomings or their inabilities or weaknesses, if you will. And if you're not able to do that or don't have the patience to deal with certain students, even the traditional students, then you need to question your ability as an instructor. You know, instructors actually are born. They are not assigned. Even though you might be promoted under an instructor, under a master, to a high level or rank in martial arts, karate, or what have you, doesn't necessarily make you a good or great instructor. Your character means everything. So it's here. It has to be in here. And you have to have a genuine love for man, for humanity, is what I'm saying, to be a great instructor, or even a very good instructor, male or female. Now, staying true to the title of this video, that which is fake and that which is practical in martial arts. As an instructor, you must teach your students, traditional or just self-defense students or clients, if you will, things that work in the real world that we live in, and not things that are fancy, preconceived in your own mind, not things that you watched in the movie. And I'm not beating up on anyone, but I'm talking about what I have observed over the years, not things that you practice in a choreographed skit that you do in your school. You must be realistic, and you must practice your techniques as close to reality as possible. You must train rigorously to make sure that your techniques and your skill set become second nature if you want to really be effective in a real confrontation in the real world. And this is being brutally honest. So if you're teaching self-defense to anyone, regardless of if that person smokes, drinks, or whatever, you need to let them know that, listen, ma'am or sir, I teach actual fighting principles. This is not a walk in the park. If it's karate that you're teaching, martial arts instructors out there listening to me, if it's judo, jiu-jitsu, aikido or aikijitsu, or Bando, or Tai Chi, Chuan, Bagua Zhang, Xingyi, whatever it is, it has to work in the real world. There are some sets, we call them. There are some techniques that we have that are beautiful when you see them done in demonstrations and competitions and tournaments and so forth. Very picturesque. That's one side of martial arts in the competition side. But there's a real side also that's not competition, that shows and or demonstrates practical application, especially in the Kung Fu world. So you need to make a difference between the two when you're talking to your students. This looks pretty, but understand this, everything that looks pretty is not effective in the streets. Now, this may not be something that sit well with some people that are listening to me right now, but it doesn't matter. But that doesn't mean that it's not accurate and or true. Now, there's not a person that can have a conversation with me about this subject that can prove me wrong. And I can do this openly. And I can prove it to anyone openly. And I've got the years to prove it. So, it's not about challenging. It's not that type of thing. Because I do things based on what's practical and what's tried and true and proven physically and by nature and by technique in the street. It's that simple. Now, there's something that you need to comprehend and or understand also. Martial arts for self-defense should work at any age. You don't lose anything as you get older. It's refined. It gets better and better and better and better. So, the only difference is you grown in age, you become hopefully more knowledgeable and even wiser. And we hopefully don't have to fight as we age. And we found other methods or methodologies, if you will, to avoid possible confrontation. Now, I want to add this footnote. The things that we would have normally done while we were younger in the martial arts, kicking, punching, and grappling and things like this, when we were younger, we don't typically do anymore as we age. That is why I say it is very important as you age, instructors who are listening to me right now, that you know human anatomy and that you understand pressure points. Fundamentally, you may not be the greatest adept or the greatest expert in it, but you fundamentally need to understand it. You may not be able to do the splits anymore. You may not be able to jump and flip anymore. And a lot of the things that you did at your younger years, up close and personal, you should be formidable. Formidable. So, that's where I'm at now, in my understanding and my wisdom. So, pressure points are essential as you age. Formidable. That's the word. Okay. Anyway, this is Grandmaster Stroud, brother teacher. I wish you success in your martial arts journey, instructors. And for those of you who are prospects for learning martial arts, please take these words to heart in looking for an instructor and find out what you're actually shopping for, that is the right thing when you're searching for an instructor. Be blessed. Have a great day.